Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's happening?
Yeah, what's up? That's definitely my interview that I did with him
That's definitely your
on
voice right there.
Clubhouse.
If,
It
if you
was
want to introduce yourself, let people know who you are, where you're calling from.
Oh, okay. So hi everyone. My name is aayan. Yeah, I'm calling from New York. I I don't know what to say. I have a huge platform on Clubhouse. I also have a few platforms on other places. I did work for a few social media blogs. Sorry, media blogs overall, and um, and I got to interview Kanye West. It was amazing. It was dope. But that's just me.
So, how did this opportunity come about to be on this interview with Wack, like, and on Clubhouse? Was it just from your platform on there, like initially?
So what happened was I covered Kanye West the hardest. Like it was so bad where actually blogs were like covering my stories before I got them. So I had like some inside scoop of things that was happening that I would be able to get through everybody else, but I never got the credit or whatever. And my rooms will always be like super big. So I'm actually close friends with Wack 100, who actually knows Kanye West. And
Yeah.
he came into my room one day and he's like, "Hey, listen, like I need you to do me a favor, like Kanye West is wants to do an interview, and I want it to specifically be done with you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, like that's dope." So then, he's like, "Send me the questions," and then like 2 days later, that we ended up interviewing. I ended up interviewing him.
Man, so what was your reaction to this interview? Because obviously you were super well read and prepared for it, and like you did your
hmm
homework. I'm curious what your thoughts were like sitting down and actually talking with Ye for like 40, 50 minutes.
So I was super excited at one that the questions that I had was that I was able to speak to him. Um, like it felt it felt surreal like when I first got on the phone with him, and the preparation for it was crazy because we had to go behind a whole bunch of walls so that people couldn't find where we're at, but of course the platform ended up like breaking down. So the
Yeah.
the preparation for it all day was crazy. Like we it was real. But when we actually sat down and did the interview, I was actually super excited. I actually wasn't. I'm a huge Kanye West fan. People don't know that. People actually think that I hate him, but I'm hard on him because I actually know that he can be better. And when it comes down to expressing himself, and I really wanted to ask him things that people were not asking him about. I wanted him to explain himself so that people could get and I think that they purposely didn't put out this blog, like, or put out what, on the blogs overall, because in this interview, he actually made sense. Like every other conversation was, about, a certain group of people.
No,
But this
100%.
interview, he actually broke into details what was his like issue and what he was going through. And I felt good about that.
No, okay, so you guys got deplatformed and you got your account scrubbed off Clubhouse and you guys came back the next day and got banned again. Is that accurate?
So I actually got deplatformed off of all platforms. Like
Really?
I was off Clubhouse. That was for an hour or two. Um, then, um, then I got, for some reason, my Instagram was like I couldn't post or anything, and then I got on Twitter notified that I couldn't really tweet. I forgot what it said. It said something about unlocked or something like that, and I just was too excited to actually even care. So I just was like,
Right.
whatever.
You got
But
the interview.
I, but I got deplatformed again the next day when I replayed the interview because he got banned off completely, or they just shut down the room. And but like in the other scenario, like they just like they was, and then I got, because since I'm one of the bigger creators on there, like I have somebody who specifically deals with me,
Yeah.
and I guess I got the hit that like stop playing the interview.
Damn, dude. I mean, so how would you say that this affects coverage moving forward, like especially for your platform and for anybody? Because like, if it could be you, it could be Whack, it could be anybody, right?
Yeah. So um, uh, I really think that it's frustrating. That's one. I wish we could do it on Twitter Spaces, but of course he's taken off for Twitter. It's if you got to play the game, because I was the cool kid at the beginning. I got all the interviews with the celebrities. I was working, doing a thing, but like once you push that boundary and you don't stay in line, they're gonna put you back in your place. And it's you have to basically pick or choose. Like, do you want to go the route of what their agenda, or do you want them, or do you want to actually, you know, go against the grain? And you have to actually find your own social media platforms. You have to find your own websites. You have to do all of this other stuff, and that's kind of annoying because it's like, damn, what happened to like freedom of speech? And Kanye West, that was not even his worst interview. Like I've
Yeah.
seen him do like crazy interviews, and I'm like, oh, they're not upset because he's talking about the group of people. They're mad in this interview because he's actually explaining himself and making sense. And if he was able to get that out in the media, then people would actually be awakened to what Kanye West has been saying all at the beginning of time.
That's the exact thing. And even people who who would listen to the interview that I know, they were like, this is a completely different tone for him. And like, when you actually like break it down and you can name who you're talking about, like by name, it makes it so much different than saying like this shadow group or this group. Like you could actually,
Hmm.
break it down. So listen, Aayan, I really appreciate you taking the time to tap in. It's a crazy coincidence that we're playing your interview. And then you end up
Yeah,
coming in, you know?
yeah, it's funny because like I'm scrolling down and then like I usually go on night and I look on live to see who's there, and I go on because I see that you were speaking about Kanye West missing, and I was like, okay, let me just get into here and see, and then I hear the interview and I'm like, oh snap, this is like it's going. I'm glad that the interview didn't just die off. Like I feel like there was a lot of people who actually got found it in the web and listened to it and actually understood, and it was actually great because the second part of the interview was actually on the phone. We called each other,
Yes.
and that was like so
Was
dope
that to
to
try
like
to avoid the censors even more type of
yeah,
thing? Yeah.
yeah, because we were already banned. So right after, like we just ran, I got the phone call, like we did it, and we just hit record and then kept going.
Man, I love the fact that you guys kept pushing. So where can people find you right now? Like, are you currently on any platforms?
You can find me on Instagram at the Spirit Dealer. You can find me on Twitter at the Spiritual Dealer. You can find me on Instagram, sorry, Twitter, at the Spiritual Dealer. I'm still on Clubhouse. I'm on YouTube, of course. I say INX. So that's I'm still at the same places. But it's so funny because if people are going to be mad at this interview, I'm really going to be breaking the internet with the interviews that I'm going to be doing next year. But I have to like we're planning on getting websites and stuff. Like we broke like this is the we actually did another interview about like things that were going on. We had Jaguar Wright, and like they try to take me offline too. And then I kind of emailed them, and I said, "Listen, I'm one of your biggest creators. This is something that you don't want to do." And they kind of like
Yeah.
let it happen and go through. So like, we have a lot going on in the future, and I'm glad I was able to find your YouTube channel because it's super dope. But I'm glad that you're spreading the message.
No, 100%. We're going to keep pushing it, and making sure that people get to hear it. And I'm definitely going to hit you with follow and probably an email. I'd love to connect and, follow up and continue the conversation at some point as well.
Of course, yes, yes, yes. I will put my email in the chat, and I will definitely talk to you another time.
Perfect. Aayan, everyone, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, bye.
Listen, everybody, they talk about serendipity. They talk about coincidences. We're playing the band Kanye West interview. And we got the main host of the interview tapped into the live. Listen, when you talk about spreading the message, when you talk about spreading the word, this is exactly the name of the game that we're talking about, man.